Welcome back to Training Camp Tonight, powered by Ford. As we told you at the top of the show, the Broncos canceling practice today to take a closer look at social justice reform. To read the team's entire statement, make sure you head to denverbroncos.com. Time now to check in with the Broncos Country Tonight guys, Benjamin Allbright and Ryan Edwards, standing by with a closer look at the Broncos offense.
All right, thanks, Matt. Ben, let's talk about what we're expecting from the offense this season based on what we saw in the first portion of training camp. Now, I say that without today's practice, we were looking forward to seeing how they were going to frame after the day off, what the offense looked at. I mean, they headed into this break, this day off, or now 2 days off. They headed into this mini break with a lot of momentum. And I felt like the offense, especially the quarterbacks and their placement, was starting to really kind of get in tune. I was anxious to see if they were able to carry that momentum.
And I think we'll still need to see that. We'll need to see that they're able to carry that forward from a football perspective. I have no doubt that they will. I think that this offense is coming together. I think there's going to be hiccups along the way. Like with any young offense, there's going to be mistakes made, but it's really starting to gel, and you can kind of sort of see that coming together in practice. Somebody the other day kept asking me for projections for Jerry Jeudy, and I enjoy all the hype that he's getting and everything else, and it's great. He's going to have a big role in this team this year, but I don't think we need to start projecting 2,000-yard receivers just yet as far as that kind of stuff goes. So, but overall, I think the offense has come together nicely, and I hope that it will continue once we get back to practice.
Do you think the Broncos, I'm asking this in a joking manner, but do you think the Broncos need to do something like the Giants are considering doing, getting Daniel Jones some actual hits in practice so he knows what that feels like?
I think if you've ever played the quarterback position, you know what getting hit feels like, and you don't need an extra reminder from your own teammates.
I don't think so either. I thought that was one of the most bizarre things. I mean, look, it's a new coaching staff, and you got different ideas out there, but that sounded like one of the most bizarre ideas. You're just kind of asking for problems, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. I think that obviously the New York Giants' new coach, Joe Judge, is trying to implement new locker room culture. I just wonder if he's trying to get 2 new names added to his last name, Jerry and Executioner, as soon as his quarterback breaks something.
All right, we'll come back to this team for a little bit. From the offensive line perspective, let's talk about that for just a little bit. I'd say they're starting to settle in to what they're going to be. Lloyd Cushenberry is going to be the center. At least that's the way it looks. The trend of the situation. Austin Schlotman by no means is out of this. Patrick Morris, I'd say, is pretty much out of the starting opportunity. And as you put multiple times, he's a guard anyways. But with Lloyd Cushenberry kind of putting in there at center, how does this offensive line need to kind of come together in these final few practices in order to really be ready for the season?
Well, I think everybody needs to understand what it is that they're going to be doing. I mean, obviously, you got Graham Glasgow on the right side, Lloyd Cushenberry, who's been around the league a long time, but still probably needs to make sure that he's 100% versed in what he's supposed to do. Lloyd Cushenberry, as a rookie, is going to struggle with some of those kinds of things. I mean, in addition to just blocking and getting the ball off, he's got to learn the protection calls and the other things that the center has to do. And so, I think that it's incumbent upon guys like Elijah Wilkinson and Garrett Bowles and Dalton Reisner, especially, who's playing right next to him, to make sure that those guys know that thing, that they're well-versed enough and understand the assignments and get used to playing with each other, know where the other guy's going to be, get that feel down, and, continue on.
More from the tackles? Do you need to see anything specific from the tackles that we haven't already seen?
I mean, obviously you're up against Bradley Chubb and Von Miller every day. It's tough to really sit there and grade what it is that they're doing or judge what it is that they're doing on a without grading on a curve. But you'd like to see them keep the quarterback a little more clean. You'd like to see them give the quarterback a little bit more time. I think that you'd like to see improved ability out of them, but you're up against some great pass rushers every day, so they're going to get theirs too.
Let's talk about the tight ends for a little bit, because we came into camp knowing that Noah Fant and Nick Van Nett were on the unquestioned top 2 guys. We're going to get most of the reps with the first team. Albert Okwuegbunam has seen some opportunities with first team, but mostly second and third team. And then you get with Jake Butt and Troy Fumagalli, some of the other guys that are kind of on the back end of this roster at tight end. How does the depth shake out, in your opinion, right now? When you look at that tight end room, what do you think will be the active roster? Who's going to get the most opportunities?
Well, I think Noah Fant's tight end 1. I don't think we're in any disagreement about that. No one's surprised by that. A combination of size and athleticism and the position that they drafted him in, and his productivity last year placed him at the top of the depth chart. You added Nick Van Nett this offseason, paid him a lot of money. He's gotten some good quality reps out there, looks pretty good. I think he's probably the second tight end. You have a little bit of discussion at the third. I think it's probably Jake Butt at this point. I think he's been more reliable. Albert Okwuegbunam shows some big play ability, but in the end, I don't know that he's quite ready yet. And Troy Fumagalli, unfortunately, despite showing a little bit here or there, just doesn't have enough resume to get on there, so I think he's tight end 4.
I'd really like to see Albert Okwuegbunam make this roster because I feel like as the season wears on, he will get more opportunities, and he'll be a guy that Drew Lock will look for in the red zone.
Could be. He has to prove he can be reliable.
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk about the defense. Don't go anywhere.